Ba-da-doom, doom, 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 doom. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Gosh, turn the microphone on. Hey, good morning, everybody. You're looking at the fish pond at the Minnesota State Fair. This is the Minnesota State Fair opens today. It's the second largest state fair in the country, just behind Texas. And this is the fish pond that they have. They have a lovely fish pond with all the native Minnesota fish. Kind of cool thing because fishing is huge. We got 12,000 lakes in Minnesota, at least a square that are at least a square mile or more, and lots of huge lakes. Plus, we're bordered on Lake Superior, so a lot of people go. But there's some huge, beautiful fishing lakes all over the state, and so at the Minnesota State Fair, they love their fish, and so a pretty cool. This is a live feed, actually. Oh, or no, is it a live? Yeah, it's a live feed at the Minnesota State Fair. They got it on YouTube. So pretty cool display there. Hey, we also have a dead fish in the presidential race. Yes, another one bites the dust. Another one's gone, and another one's gone. Another one bites dust. Hey, he's going to get you too. Another one bites dust. Oh, my God. That hurt to even sing that this morning. So, oh my gosh. Like I said, it's a sad day in the world of politics. I got something down the wrong pipe there. Sad day in the world of politics. I'm sorry. Governor Jay Inslee announced last night on the Rachel Maddow show that he's going to exit from the presidential race. And I'm saddened by this. Now hold on. Something important I got to do. Let me just fix this right now. And we're going with a little. This is. For those of you who love the more, I'm gonna start the funk. See the funk. Oh, and it is FTG Thursday. I'm starting the funk, but this one is one of those classic. I don't know if it's classic, but it definitely sounds like a 70s porn music because some people think my funk sounds like 70s porn music. Well, this one absolutely does. Click it. Oh, that's kind of soft, isn't it? If y'all can hear that, well, it's probably okay. It might be a little soft. Anyway, so Governor Jay Inslee, I don't even know. I'm not even 100% sure what state he's the governor of, but he went on the Rachel Maddow show last night, and made his announcement. Here is that announcement from the Rachel Maddow show. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for showing this, but you know what? Things are as they are. Here we go.
Washington, sir, it is great to have you here. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So that was like a little lily pad tour of what Americans have seen from your campaign thus far.
Appreciate being called the frog in the race.
Well, you know, I mean, it's just a little bit of this is your life, but in a very condensed way. This is your life on the campaign trail. But I understand that you are here tonight to make some news.
I am. Listen, this show has been so good to me. This is sort of the bookends of my campaign. We started saying that climate change had to be the #1 job of the United States. I felt very good saying that the first days of my campaign.
Yeah.
I feel very good saying that now. And the reason is this has just become more urgent. A billion tons of ice melted in Greenland,
he's from Washington.
The other day. But we also have had so many people I've met who are inspiring.
Jay, get to the point, brother.
Who've helped me. We had 130,000 people help me in this campaign. But it's become clear that I'm not going to be carrying the ball. I'm not going to be the president.
There it is. It is clear. What?
In the race. Will help me in this campaign.
It's clear
but
that
it's become clear that I'm not going to be carrying the ball.
Yeah, because here's the deal, Jay.
So I'm withdrawing tonight from the race. But I have to tell you, look, I've been fighting climate change for 25 years.
Okay, we don't need to hear any more about that. But anyway, so Jay Inslee, Governor Jay Inslee from the state of Washington, is leaving the race. Now, if you didn't know he was running, you are like most Americans, because he was even in the debates and nobody knows who he is. So his chances are quite fat that he might end up in the race. Or might end up as president of the United States. I'm pretty sure most people still don't know who he was. But I do like this. Now, look up here. This announcement is a Rachel Maddow exclusive. Ooh. Now, what's going on with Rachel Maddow? This is an exclusive. This is her breaking news. Exclusive. Jay Inslee. You know what? He could have announced that. Well, I don't know. The fact that he got a national platform is great, but wasn't Rachel? I thought Rachel Maddow talked about Russia all the time, and oh my gosh, how low have we gone, Rachel? How low have we gone? Come on, Rachel, you gotta find some. You can get some better exclusive than this. Jay Inslee, seriously, is that the best you can do? Good Lord. Anyway, so welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, Marty, a.k.a. Dawg Knight, which is a nickname I got from a good friend of mine, Mitch Goldberger. And, it is Thursday, August 22nd, 2019, and it is FTG Thursday. And you know what? Honestly, the fact that Jay Inslee thought he deserved a national platform to announce that he's leaving the race when half the country doesn't even know he's running, I think we could have an FTG for Jay Inslee. Don't you? I mean, let's just get it started right. Let's give him an FTG. And then beyond that, although I don't know, I'm sure Governor Inslee's a good person. I don't know anything about him. I know, obviously, his big thing is climate change. So, okay, more power to you. Now maybe you can go. The fact that you had to take a jet from the state of Washington to appear on the Rachel Maddow show tells me you don't really give a shit about climate change. So anyway, let's say good morning to everybody. Hello, Sarah. Sarah gets the bell because Sarah was first. Hello, darling. Nice to see you. And good morning, Diesel Dave, RVA, Smarty Bear, MC, Hammer Time, and Jason Burns, who are the people in the chat. And there's about a half a dozen of you there's a few of you lurking. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you're here. It is FTG Thursday. Let's get into a couple stories. But before we do that, I just got to look at these fish again because it's really, the fish pond at the Minnesota State Fair, live at the fish pond. You can see those. Are those gars back there? Yeah, those look like gars. There's let's see. What is that? That's a perch. That looks like no, that's not a trout. No, that is a brown trout. I see a bunch of gars back there, or maybe they're alligator fish. I don't know. fishing's huge in Minnesota. I'm just fascinated by the fishing. Whoa, what the hell was that? That's a, oh, holy smokes. It looks like a shark, but there's no sharks in the lakes of Minnesota. But the biggest thing that people fish for in Minnesota are walleye. Walleye is king here. Also muskies. And there actually is some trout fishing in Minnesota. It's not a big thing here. And there's a lot of bass fishing here too. So, oh, you can't even see that. I'm sitting there looking at this thing, and you can't even see it on the screen. So anyway, there's the fish pond at the Minnesota State Fair. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm excited about it, but I now you couldn't see the fish I was talking about. This giant something swam right by here. It looked like it was it was right up next in front of the camera. But anyway, some gar back there. There's I don't know what that is. These are gar right here. It's called an alligator gar. I think that's a perch. Perch. Oh yeah, there are a lot of perch here too. So anyway, enough about the fishing and the. If you spend enough time in Minnesota, there's a lot of people who are going to just talk to you about fishing. It just is going. In fact, they do the fishing opener in Minnesota. They do it on Mother's Day every year. Almost every year, the fishing opener's on Mother's Day, and you'd be shocked at how many people spend their Mother's Day driving up north to go fishing on the fishing opener. And in fact, the governor every year, who doesn't matter who the governor is, they're always out on a lake on the fishing opener on Mother's Day. It's a Minnesota cultural thing. I don't know. There's a couple other states like that, I'm sure, but it's crazy here. Anyway, good morning. A couple of people popping in since I said hello. Good morning, Tyler F. Good morning, Maddie from the House of Geek, and Necrosol Collins. How you doing? All right, let's get into a couple stories here. So we already talked about Jay Inslee. He is he quits the race. He had this big climate change debate plan though, and that's the fascinating thing. Here's the Breitbart article: Jay Inslee quits 2020 race before his long-awaited climate change debate. Governor Jay Inslee of Washington State announced Wednesday evening on MSNBC's Rachel Maddow show that he's leaving the 2020 presidential race 2 weeks before a climate change debate for which he had campaigned. Maddow began by asking Inslee if he had some news, and we just showed you that. Then Maddow asked Inslee if he felt he had made an impact on the race by making climate change a major issue. He said he had, and pointed out the fact that his climate change policy had been called the gold standard by Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the author of the New Green Deal. Inslee had insisted for months that the Democratic National Committee hold a debate focused entirely on the climate change issue. Now that's a tricky thing, because so they're gonna do this. They're gonna do a town hall strictly on climate change, but they're all gonna be saying the same damn shit. So what does that matter? I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting. The party declined to do so, but CNN agreed and is staging a town hall in 2 weeks on September 4th in New York for the remaining Democratic presidential candidates. However, Inslee, ironically, will not be among the candidates any longer. So, because he dropped out. Get out. All right, moving on. Mayor de Blasio. Can we just get a preemptive FTG for Mayor de Blasio? Because he's Mayor de Blasio and he's a dickhead. FTG for Mayor de Blasio. All right. Oh, in and off topic news, people get butthurt at Hasbro over putting out a socialism monopoly as a jab at socialism. Oh, I gotta see that. That sounds funny. Yeah, who was this guy? Jay Inslee is a former governor of the state of Washington running for president. All right. Let's see here. So anyway, de Blasio. Oh, so they had this forum in Iowa for the candidates, and Mayor Bill de Blasio couldn't quite make it there. So he said he would do his speech via teleconference. However, there was a little technical problem. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio's video call at an event Wednesday experienced unfortunate technical difficulties that were appearing to have a helium effect on his voice. The trouble began when de Blasio was unable to make a flight, forcing the 2020 Democratic presidential hopeful, I should say non-hopeful, to be honest with you, there's no chance in hell he's even going to be on the ticket. But anyway, for him to appear at the Iowa Federation of Labor event via a video call instead of in person. And here's the audio from his call.
Our next speaker was unable to make his flight, but still wanted to join us through video conferencing. Our next candidate to speak is the mayor of New York City,
Mickey Mouse.
Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Thank you. Hey, thank you, everybody. I'm so happy with you, and I apologize I couldn't be there in person. I had a canceled flight and could not get to you.
My name is Bill de Blasio.
But I want to just say, before I get into anything about why I'm running
that I represent the Lollipop Guild
for president, what we have to do in this country, I want to thank you.
and the Wicked and Dorothy for killing the Wicked Witch of the East.
For the fight you're waging every day. Organized labor in Iowa has been
Build a lot of lollipops for the Lollipop Guild.
fighting a really, really difficult battle, but you've been doing it in a way that shows so much passion, so much strength, and
Sweeping the Yellow Brick Road.
I believe the tide is turning, and you can see it in elections all over the state of Iowa, and labor's been so essential to those victories.
As was the house that fell on the Wicked Witch of the East. Thank you, Dorothy.
I want to thank you because I just want to say, I know it's not easy. I just want to offer all of my appreciation because I know it's a tough fight. But what you're doing is making a huge difference for Iowa and for the whole country.
And now please go after the Wicked Witch of the West. In addition to the altered tone of de Blasio's voice, the audio and video appeared to be out of sync by a fraction of a second. Okay, so anyway, poor Bill de Blasio. You know what? He had he had an event in some cafe in Iowa recently, or was it New Hampshire? I can't remember which one. And there were only 10 people at the event. And from the pictures that I saw, it looked like they were just people there who were there in the restaurant to eat. So really, nobody showed up for Bill de Blasio's event. Anyway, FTG for Bill de Blasio. I don't care about him. All right, next thing here. Oh, man. So this is a great article in the front page mag. Question to Representative Elijah Cummings. Where did the billions in missing federal money go? Now, before I even get into that, I'm going to recommend a video that you watch. I thought it was I know you saw the cleanup in Baltimore, but I just thought this gal made a nice video about it. And it's in the description down below. Her name is Olivia Rondeau, and she did a nice kind of comprehensive video on the cleanup effort in Baltimore, and that's why I put it in the description, because I knew I was reading this article. But anyway, President Trump went after purported congressional watchdog Elijah Cummings recently, slamming the Democrat congressman for failing to improve his troubled Baltimore, Maryland. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I already got the FTGs going for Elijah Cummings, I see. For failing to improve his troubled Baltimore, Maryland district, despite the inflow of billions of dollars in federal aid during and in the years leading up to the Trump administration. Cummings came to the attention of conservatives as he zealously defended the IRS throughout the Lois Lerner saga. Lerner is the corrupt IRS tax-exempt division executive who engineered the tax agency's targeting of conservative nonprofits during the Obama administration. Cummings also apparently conspired with Lerner to sabotage True the Vote, a leading grassroots electoral integrity group. In 2012, Cummings falsely claimed the group would do almost anything to stop the people from voting. Yeah, that's dumb. Baltimore's numbers are the worst in the United States on crime and the economy. Billions of dollars have been pumped in over the years, but to no avail, the president wrote on Twitter July 29th. The money was stolen or wasted. Ask Elijah Cummings where it went. he should investigate himself with his oversight committee. Baltimore, under the leadership of Elijah Cummings, has the worst crime statistics in the nation. 25 years of all talk, no action. So tired of listening to the same old bullshit. Next, Reverend Al will show up and complain and protest. Nothing will get done for the people in need. Sad, Trump tweeted. Trump was responding to taunts by Rhino Michael Steele, who used to run the Republican National Committee and was Maryland's lieutenant governor from 2003 to 2007. Baltimore Mayor Bernard Young and a racial arsonist. I'm sorry, he's not a racial arsonist. He's grievance grifter extraordinaire. Al Sharpton, who accused the president of not spending enough federal money on Baltimore. Oh, wow. 2 days before his tweets, Trump took Cummings to task on Twitter after the congressman lobbed harsh criticisms about conditions at the U.S.-Mexico border. Representative Elijah Cummings has been a brutal bully, shouting and screaming at the great men and women of Border Patrol about conditions at the southern border, when actually his Baltimore district is far worse and much more dangerous. His district is considered the worst in the USA, Trump tweeted. And, as proven last week during a congressional tour, the border is clean, efficient, well-run, just very crowded, Trump added. Cummings' district is disgusting, rat and rodent infested. Oh my God, he said infested. That's so racist. Infested. Mess. If he spent more time in Baltimore, maybe. So anyway, naturally, Democrats, the media, and the political establishment responded with indignation, defending the squalor of Baltimore, even though just a few weeks ago they admitted Charm City was in bad shape. So anyway, here's the point. Newsweek verified, I've skipped a few lines down here. Newsweek verified that Cummings' home turf, the 7th Congressional District, which includes portion of Maryland outside Baltimore, took in a little under $15.7 billion, that would be billion with a B, billion in grants and other funding from the U.S. government in fiscal 2018. My God, who was the president during that time? Oh, yeah, that's under President Trump. $15.7 billion, that's no chump change. We have given more money in homeless funds to Baltimore than the last administration. We have given more money in community development grants than the last administration to Baltimore. My question to you guys is this. What are you actually doing with that money so that it benefits residents of the community for once instead of deep-pocketed, crooked politicians? Patton said. Who is Patton here? Lynn Patton, Regional Administrator of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So she defended Trump because $16 billion in grants was directed to Cummings' congressional district in 2018 alone. That is $16 billion with a B. But the statistics paint a depressing picture of Baltimore. Baltimore has the highest homicide rate among America's 50 largest cities and the second highest violent crime rate overall, according to FBI data released in September 2018. There were 342 homicides in Baltimore in 2017, which works out to 56 per 100,000 people residing in the city. On 24/7 Wall Street's list of the most dangerous cities in the country, Baltimore ranked 3rd behind first place St. Louis, Missouri, and second place Detroit, Michigan. So yeah, the big question is, where's the money? Where is that money? Just curious, because I know, my guess is that, they get all this money and then they spend it like on riverfront projects or some other shit instead of on real things that can help people. So anyway, FTG for Elijah Cummings. FTG, bye-bye. All right, next on, I got, DHS is it's a little immigration news. So DHS is looking at a loophole around Flores to address immigration crisis. So here's what they're doing. The Trump administration is rolling out its own licensing standards they're going to make some family residential centers for a move that will work around the Flores settlement and mitigate the illegal immigration crisis. The Department of Homeland Security introduced a new policy Wednesday regarding family residential centers that house immigrant family units. So they get bitched at for they get bitched at for separating children. They're separating children from their families. Well, they're going to fix that by creating these family residential centers, which are it's detention, but in where they can be detained as family units. You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen with this? Someone's going to try to fight it in court first, of course, because that's what they'll do. And the court will say, no, you know what? This is fine, whatever. But then they're going to say, well, you're still got families in cages. Anyway, the Trump administration has established a new rule to respond to the realities of current immigration flows, a rule based on the principle that families should remain together during immigration proceedings. Acting Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleenan said during a Monday press conference. Under the change, the administration will create a licensing regime for family residential centers. This will allow immigrant families living in the facilities to remain there longer than the 20-day limit currently established under the Flores settlement, a DHS official said to the Daily Caller News Foundation. By doing this, family units can remain in detention throughout the entire duration of their immigration court proceedings. So that'll kind of stop them from catch and release, I guess. There will be two different ways to change. This change can play out. A state government can establish its own licensing regime for the FRCs. Texas attempted to make their own standard, but it has since been bogged down in litigation. Like I said, they're going to sue, of course, if a state is able to do so. However, then family detention centers would abide by their state licensing regime. For states that do not establish rules, then the administration will have the ability to use licensing standards set by Immigration's Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE, in order to license the FRC. So they're going to work on, everyone who's bitching about them. Oh, you're separating children from their parents. And you're traumatizing these kids, which they're finding that at least, was it a full 20%? I mean, 20% of the kids aren't coming in with family members. They're either coming in as unaccompanied minors, or they're handed off to people to traffic them. They use them as a shield to get say, well, they told us if you come in with a kid, they'll just let you go. And so now they're saying, no, we're gonna start making these facilities that if we're gonna hold you, we're gonna hold you as a family unit. Then you can't bitch about us taking your kids away from you. So I guess they'll be less prison-like, but they'll still be contained. Speaking of which, this next story fits right into what I just said. A breastfeeding migrant, breastfeeding in scare quotes, disputed by medical exam, charged with felony for identity fraud. Oh my, can't imagine. An illegal immigrant mother whose nursing claims were disputed by a medical exam has been slapped with multiple felony charges for using another person's social security number. Maria Domingo Garcia was federally indicted on Tuesday for knowingly using another individual's social security number, according to court documents obtained by the Daily Caller News Foundation. The ruling, handed down in the Northern Division of the Southern District of Mississippi, will result in her being placed in the custody of U.S. Marshals as she awaits federal trial. And I wonder if there's any damage when someone steals a social security number. I wonder if that does any damage to the person who is, actually the owner of that social security number. I just, could it mess up your life? Oh, does it ever? God, I read about one case where a guy, they figured out that about 15 different people from different parts of the country were using his social name and social security number, and they were opening up credit cards and all this stuff, and all of a sudden his credit's screwed. He's like, wait a minute, what is all this stuff in my credit? And he's still in litigation because even when you're an identity, you got to be able to prove that each one of those cases are not you. So he has some tax fraud issues with the federal government, and he has, his credits screwed. 15 different people using your name. Obviously, you are supposed to pay taxes on that. So these guys that that work under that number, guess who gets the tax bill? The original owner of the social security number. It's so that screws you up, man. Anyway, news of the indictments come after Domingo Garcia made national headlines for claiming she was a nursing mother unable to breastfeed her baby because immigration and customs enforcement placed her in detention. The issue dates back to August 7th when ICE agents apprehended 680 illegal immigrants working in food processing plants across Mississippi, the largest ICE raid in U.S. history. Domingo Garcia was among the hundreds of illegal aliens apprehended that day. Days after her apprehension, numerous articles about her personal life were published. In a recent CNN report, for example, Domingo Garcia's lawyers definitively claimed that she was breastfeeding her 4-month-old baby at the time of her arrest. The lawyers admonished ICE for separating her away from her baby. Oh, they tore the baby right off of her breast as she was trying to just feed the starving child. And described the physical toll of abruptly ceasing to breastfeed was having on her body. She's still really depressed. She's in a lot of pain because of not being able to pump or breastfeed. Juliana Manzanares, one of her 2 lawyers, said to CNN. ICE conducted a medical examination of Domingo Garcia in response to these reported claims. A nurse practitioner found that she was, in fact, not lactating. A strong indication that she was not breastfeeding her baby when she was apprehended just days earlier. So, you know what? It makes for a great story, though, if it would have been true. But, like I always say, can you smell it? The bullshit. Oh my gosh. During her initial screening, Miss Domingo Garcia answered no to that what question? Oh, I'm sorry. All ICE detainees received medical, dental, and mental health intake screenings within 12 hours of arriving at each detention facility. That screening includes a woman being asked if she is breastfeeding. During her initial medical screening, Miss Domingo Garcia answered no to that question, read an ICE statement provided to the DCNF on Tuesday. Domingo Garcia claimed to her lawyers that she was never asked this question. Okay, sorry, whatever. Can I get an FTG for Ms. Maria Domingo Garcia, please? Oh my gosh, FTG. Whoop. All right, real quick, before I move on, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, the Morning Night Live, this is my commercial time. I got to make that commercial. I keep forgetting I was going to make a commercial for this. As you know, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. If you haven't already done so, please, right down here, click that little arrow and share this out to your friends and family and all of the people that you love. Because the gift of the Morning Night Live is the greatest love of all. It's the greatest love of all inside of me. Never mind. Also, if you haven't done so, hit the like button if you like what we do. That helps us out. And also, we do super chats, but just not through YouTube. We do them through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. And our moderator, Sarah, has put it in the, what's this called? The chat. Look at the chat. There's a little, it says Streamlabs. It says Streamlabs. Look, it's streamlabs.com/Dawg Knight with no punctuation. It's very simple. So if you'd like to do super chat, here's what you do for super chats. Super chats are for things that you absolutely want to make sure that I read, because I maybe not have seen them in the regular chat because I don't always pay attention that well. It's kind of hard to do. Or if you have a question for Dawg Knight, pretty much I'll answer any question if you do a super chat. So if you have a question you got to have answered, that's what the super chat is for. Okay, so that's the shill for the day. Moving on. I think I have one more immigration story. Oh, so there's some new immigration rules that the Department of Homeland Security have put out there, and the DHS thinks that fewer illegal migrants will enter the U.S. under the new Trump rule. DHS says. This is that same thing. The Trump administration changes to the regulations of family detention will dramatically reduce the flow of illegal immigrants into the U.S., Homeland Security officials and immigration hawks argue. Today, the government has issued a critical rule that will permit the Department of Homeland Security to appropriately hold families together and improve the integrity of the immigration system. Acting Secretary Kevin McAleenan said during the Wednesday press conference, this rule will allow the federal government to enforce immigration laws passed by Congress and ensure that all children in U.S. government custody are treated with dignity, respect, and special concern for their particular vulnerability. Now, so obviously we've talked about this already, but what they're trying to do, because this under Flores, they said, well, you can't detain children and adults in the same facility, and they're trying to work around the Flores law so that they can home families as units in special facilities. And so, who knows? Hopefully, this will work. Because it's true. You don't want to have to separate children, but that was the law because they were putting people in, jail facilities for breaking our laws. When an American breaks a law and they go to jail and their kids can't go with them. You ever heard of that? So anyway, we already kind of talked about this. Let's move on. All right, what else I got? Oh, well, let's see. Hang on. What's the next one? I'm looking up here. Oh, this is another one. This is called The Inconvenient Truth About Public Charge Provisions of Immigration Laws, meaning people who take public assistance that come into the country under welfare. And so I'm just going to get to the meat of this article. On August 12th, Business Today breathlessly published a Reuters news report under the title "New Trump Administration Rule to Target Legal Immigrants Who Get Public Assistance." The subtitle of that report utterly twisted the truth, and here's what it said. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration unveiled a sweeping rule Monday that would limit legal immigration by denying visas and permanent residency to hundreds of thousands of people for being too poor. That's how they like to twist words. Oh my God. The article also included this excerpt. The 837-page rule could be the most drastic. I should read this more menacingly. The 837-page rule could be more drastic of all the Trump administration's policies targeting the illegal immigration system, experts have said. Advocates for immigrants have criticized the plan as an effort to cut legal immigration without going through Congress to change U.S. law. The new rule is derived from the Immigration Act of 1882, which allows the U.S. government to deny a visa to anyone likely to become a, quote, public charge, end quote. Anyway, that last paragraph creates the utterly false impression that President Trump had to dig back to law books published 137 years ago to find legal justification for invoking the concept of public charge to prevent aliens on public assistance from receiving lawful immigration status. In reality, while the notion of public charge was first codified in 1882, it has persisted in all subsequent rewrites of Americans' immigration laws, and in fact is still an element of the current Immigration and Nationality Act. The claim that Trump's public charge policies would deny entry to aliens who are poor is Wait for it. False. This concern does not deny entry to aliens who are poor. Historically, many immigrants who were destitute have come to the United States. However, they worked their way up the economic ladder to create the American dream for themselves, their families, and ultimately for America. The issue is not whether or not an alien seeking to enter the U.S. is poor, but if that alien has the physical capabilities and skills and or education to work and be self-sufficient in the United States. In fact, Ellis. Okay, so I'm not gonna read anymore. But so it's not trying to deny people who are poor. It's just saying that you need to come in here and try to be self-sufficient so that you don't just immediately go on the government dole. I'm not sure. Let's see. Interesting, because let's see. On August 16th, 2019, CNBC reported advocacy groups filed suit to block Trump's new public charge immigration rule. That included this outrageous quote: "This rule change is a direct attack on communities of color and their families, and furthers this administration's desire to make this country work primarily for the wealthy and white," said Antoinette Dozier, a senior attorney at the Western Center on Law and Poverty. "Our immigration system cannot be based on the racial animosities of this administration or whether or not people are wealthy." Well, interesting. More recently, NBC reported New York, Connecticut, and Vermont sue to block Trump's public charge rule. Once again, the left is resorting to lawfare, filing lawsuits to achieve political objectives. Yeah, this is they're not going to win these cases. It's further under the purview of the executive branch to control immigration. Now you can, and I don't know. I always thought that was always something you had to be able to do in pretty much any country. They don't want you coming to your country and automatically being on the dole. Oh, hi, Marsupial Gamer. Let's see. Can confirm this has always been the case. My girlfriend could very easily have gotten disability for the last 3 years, but didn't specifically because she would have been denied citizenship. So yeah, I don't think that's unusual. I think they're just going to enforce it, which has not been done in the past. All right, moving on. Hey, San Francisco board comes up with a new term for convicted felon. I haven't read the article, but I just like the headline, so I'm going to read it. "I cried the first time I saw the Golden Gate Bridge." Hey, I was just at the Golden Gate Bridge, by the way. "I laughed at the sea lions and done the After Dark Alcatraz tour." Hey, I saw the sea lions too. I used to love San Francisco. Well, we actually, you know what? Despite all the news lately that people are pooping in the streets and stuff, we actually had a fantastic time in San Francisco when we were there this summer, and that's why my outro is taken from San Francisco. So you haven't seen my outro. I have some nice footage of me riding the cable cars. Anyway, San Francisco is facing a horrific crime problem. Yes, it is. I did experience the crime in San Francisco, however, as many of you already know. So what has the San Francisco Board of Supervisors done? They've come up with a new term in order to soften criminals, according to Fox News. Crime-ridden what was that whistle? Holy shit. Crime-ridden San Francisco has introduced new sanitized language for criminals, getting rid of the words such as offender and addict, while changing convicted felon to justice-involved person. Oh my God. What is this? Okay. What? I don't understand. This is a mini rant here. I don't understand the need, generally among the left, because the left and academia likes to do it a lot more, and as others, of constantly trying to change language to make it sound less offended, whether you're a convicted felon or you're a justice-involved person, according to this stupid thing, isn't that the same? It's still the same thing. It still means you went to jail. So eventually, justice-involved person is going to be offensive. You know, I mean, Jesus. You know, making up new words for pronouns for people because they feel something. I got into a conversation about that yesterday with some friends and family. But just, you know, illegal alien, technical term. They're illegal, as in they cross the border illegally, and they are an alien, as in they are not from this land, from this country. Oh no, that's offensive because nobody is ill. No human is illegal. You can't be an illegal human. Oh, so now, okay, undocumented, or no, when they went from that to not illegal alien, they went to, what was after that? It was before undocumented worker. I can't remember, but you know, just the changing of, oh my God, it's just so stupid. And you know, the city that decided that they were gonna make everything gender neutral, you know, changing a manhole to a maintenance hole. I'm sorry, maintenance hole. Maintenance hole would be something, sounds like something you'd hear in a porn movie. Oh, let me check out your maintenance hole, baby. You know, I don't know. It's just, oh my God. The Board of Supervisors adopted the changes last month, even as the city reels from one of the highest crime rates in the country and staggering inequality exemplified by pervasive homelessness alongside Silicon Valley wealth. The local officials say the new language will help change people's views about those who commit crimes. Really? How? How? Okay, so they went from convicted felon to justice-involved person. Now, if you're telling us what you're changing the language from and to describe those two terms, isn't that person still going to be a person who commits crimes? A justice-involved person. All it does is makes it less specific, so everybody is a criminal, right? Because offender, okay, sounds different than addict. That sounds. What if you are someone who has a misdemeanor? You know, you have a misdemeanor on your record, right? But now, because convicted felons are justice-involved persons, well, so are people who had misdemeanors. They're justice-involved persons too. So now everyone's a convicted felon to me because I'm not taking any chances. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I'm not. Okay, so silly. FTG for the, what is it? Who does it? FTG for the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. Please, can I get an FTG for the San Francisco Board of Supervisors? All right, moving on. Good God. Next article. Oh, what was this one? Oh! Now, if you're familiar with the Young Turks, I'm sure you might be. Everyone knows who the Young Turks are. Well, Hassan Piker, apparently, he's Cenk Uyghur's nephew. And he used to be on the Young Turks. He hasn't been on there lately, though. He kind of has gone off on his own. I don't know if he got kicked off the show just for being too stupid or what. But he, apparently, Young Turks Hassan Piker says America deserved 9/11 and mocks Dan Crenshaw's war injury. Brave soldier fucked his eye hole, he says. Is that how he lost his fucking dumbass eye? Reviewing a clip of U.S. military veteran Representative Dan Crenshaw talking to podcast host Joe Rogan, Hassan Piker of the Young Turks mocked Crenshaw's lost eye, a wartime injury, in vile fashion, and said America deserved 9/11. Let's just, rather than me reading this, let's just listen to what he said. Here's the formidable, or formidable less, unformidable Hassan Piker. Here.
Soft power is the exact same as hard power. Soft power, embassies, diplomacy, exact same thing as military bases. I can't do this. I can't do this. This guy has the understanding of foreign policy of like a 12-year-old. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with this dude? Didn't he go to war and like literally lose his eye because some mujahideen, a brave fucking soldier, fucked his eye hole?
So, yes, the brave mujahideen. Oh my god, never mind. He's listening and then commenting. Oh, all right. Anyway, so, and then Piker posted a series of tweets on Tuesday mocking Crenshaw for discussing Saturday Night Live Pete Davidson, joking about the Republicans' injury. Though Crenshaw swiftly accepted Davidson's apology and appeared alongside the comedian on SNL. You may be surprised to hear that he's a congressional candidate from Texas and not a hitman in a porno movie, Davidson tastefully joked in 2018. I'm sorry, I know he lost his eye in war or whatever. Dan Crenshaw is crying, and then so Piker. Dan Crenshaw is crying on a comedian's podcast about how not offended he was about a joke made against him almost an entire year ago. Right-wing victimhood is a brain disease, Piker said, adding the following tweet, crying from his remaining eye. Oh, that's cute. Joe Rogan is comedy policing because Pete Davidson didn't call him a hero. Laughing my ass off. This is brilliant, he added. Crenshaw, former Navy SEAL, lost his eye in an IED explosion during a third deployment in Afghanistan. Crenshaw's campaign website describes the incident thusly. I'll skip that. And then during the stream, Piker also said the United States deserved to have the Twin Towers targeted by suicide bombers on September 11, 2001, killing 3,000 innocents. Here's that.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
We're there to partner with them. We're not there doing our own thing. We're there partnering and training
in a video
and
game,
equipping and enhancing their capabilities. So that's part of what we're doing. The other part is just
anyway.
knowledge.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we see an apology from Hassan Piker in some form. Probably not. He's a jackass who's jacked with a tiny head. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, how about an FTG for Hassan Piker? FTG. There's an FTG for Hassan. FTG for Hassan Piker. Alrighty then. All right, let's do this. Oh, it's about that time. You know, we're gonna stay on schedule for which is a rarity here at the Morning Night Live. There were a couple more articles I was gonna run through. Let's see. I already did that. Oh, this one. Oh, this is my hometown paper. Holy shit. This is unbelievable. So the Minneapolis Star Tribune, which is probably the biggest paper in Minnesota, most circulation. Oh, by the way, before I go on, good morning to Longfish, Marsupial Gamer, Straight Sith Male, Cynical Lindsay, Jason. Oh, I said hi to Jason Burns, Captain Brambles, and W.R. Costin. Nice to see you all in the chat today. So the Minneapolis Star Tribune, my local paper, decides to write this garbage article. Paints Mount Rushmore as a monument to white supremacy. I'm just gonna let that sink in. I'm just gonna let that sink in. The faces of the four presidents, white conquerors, peer southeast towards a reservation housing vanquished Lakota, who mostly live out forgotten, impoverished lives. Yes, that's the purpose of the guy cutting out Mount Rushmore. Holy shit. Last Friday, Professor Jacobson blogged about New York Times executive editor Dean Baquet, revealing plans to shift its focus after the Russian collusion failed. Now the publication will focus on portraying President Donald Trump as a racist. That's their whole thing right now. The part and parcel with that approach is the paper's development of the 1619 Project. The creators hoped that project would alter our view of our founding to make the introduction of slavery the real beginning point of American history. Okay, I haven't said anything about the 1619 Project yet. I haven't dived into it enough, but it sounds like oppression porn to me. So, but anyway, conservative pundit Byron York has the analysis of the 1619 Project, in the Washington Examiner. The basic thrust of the 1619 Project is that everything in American history is explained by slavery and race. The message is woven throughout the first publication of the project, an entire edition of the Times magazine. It begins with an overview of race in America. Our democracy's founding ideals were false when they were written. Black Americans have fought to make them true. Written by Times writer Nicole Hannah-Jones, who on Twitter uses the identity Ida Bay Wells from the crusading late 19th, early 20th century African-American journalist Ida B. Wells. The essays go on to cover the economy. If you want to understand the brutality of American capitalism, you have to start on the plantation. That'd be great if we had plantations still. The food we eat, the sugar that saturates the American diet, has a barbaric history as the white gold that fueled slavery. The nation's health. Why doesn't the United States have universal health care? The answer begins with policies enacted after the Civil War. And politics. America holds on to the undemocratic assumption from its founding that some people deserve more power than others. Daily life. What does a traffic jam in Atlanta have to do with segregation? Oh my God, even the traffic jam is racist. Quite a lot. And much more. So during his show today, the iconic pundit Rush Limbaugh noted that sister publications would shortly push this message as well. First out of the nasty gate is the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, which just posted an opinion piece that portrays Mount Rushmore as a monument to white supremacy. The editorial penned by Ron Ray, a former official of the U.S. Interior Department and its National Park Service, even features the KKK. But the backstory of the Mount Rushmore is hardly a rich history of a shared democratic ideal. Some see the monument in the Black Hills as one of the spoils of violent conquest over indigenous tribes by a U.S. Army clearing the way for white settlers driven westward by a lust for land and gold. As it was, colonial America, the young country's expansion, was fueled by manifest destiny, a self-supreme notion that any land coveted by Euro-Americans was by provenance rightfully theirs for the taking. The sculptures were chiseled by an imported Ku Klux Klansman on a granite mountain owned by indigenous tribes in what they considered sacred land. Land that the U.S. Supreme Court said in 1980 was illegally taken from them. The way continues in this vein, creating the most delusional piece of historical analysis I have ever seen published. Considering I have read books tying ancient Egypt to extraterrestrials, this is a remarkable achievement. The racialism and fabulism drip from Way's account. George Washington and Thomas Jefferson owned slaves. Oh, I'd never heard that before. Did you know that? Did you know that George Washington and Thomas Jefferson owned slaves? Guys, I don't think anyone ever mentions that ever at all. Never. Abraham Lincoln famously emancipated slaves, but he supported eradicating Indian tribes from Western lands and approved America's largest ever mass execution, the hanging of 38 Dakota in Mankato for their alleged crimes in the 1962 war along the Minnesota River. We've been down there. There's some historical landmarks and stuff down there. Anyway, Teddy Roosevelt, in his Winning the West, wrote, I don't go so far as to think that the only good Indians are dead Indians, but I believe 9 out of every 10 are. Yes, he said some shitty things. Anyway, even the orientation to the monument is racist. Now, this is funny. At Mount Rushmore, you may learn that the sculptures are arranged for maximum sun exposure, itself a cruel irony. The faces of the 4 presidents, white conquerors, peer southeast towards a reservation housing vanquished Lakota, who mostly live out forgotten, impoverished lives in the shadow of their sacred Pahasapa that legally still belongs to them. The approach is working about as well as Lin Ma predicted. Mount Rushmore is racist? Oh my God. Oh my God. So there's some people who tweeted some support for Mount Rushmore. Boy, that escalated. I really like Mount Rushmore. I've never gone there, but your tweet has intrigued me. The Indians should be thanking these great men. Oh, they got to... Oh my gosh, I just noticed that. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Could you imagine if they tried to do that? Holy shit. Can you see it right here? Maybe I need to blow that up a little bit. And let's expand this. Can you see who's on the right there? Oh my gosh, no. God, please no. Anyway. What the crap is wrong with people who think Mount Rushmore is racist? Do you people have nothing else to do? I guess that were you sitting in your safe place at school, seeing who can come up with the stupidest thing ever, get a life. Oh, I agree with that sentiment. It's a race, and I don't mean race, but it's a race to see who can say who can come up with the greatest race theory ever. In fact, I might have a contest. I might have a contest on Twitter. Come up with your most... Nah, that'll piss too many people off. I don't need the hassle. Come up with your best... in 240 characters less, come up with your best race theory. Like some... Make something racist that probably isn't really racist. So figure out a way to, for like my cup of reparations coffee, that coffee originally was brewed. When you brewed coffee, it was originally cleared, but then they went through a process to make the coffee brown because they wanted it to symbolize the black man who you should be able to just drink and consume at your very own wishes. I don't know, something like that. Can I get an FTG for the Minneapolis Star Tribune, please? FTG for the Minneapolis Star Tribune. Thank you. All right. Hey, let's do this. Let's get into Twitter trends because, like I said, I was going to try to get ahead of the game today. And holy smokes. First of all, though, I got to do some thank yous for... let's see. I got... thank you, Necrosol. And also Sarah for tweeting out the stream today. I see some people were liking my tweet about Olivia's video. So anyway, again, after this is over, go check out Olivia's video. It's down in the description down below. And then after that, you can go check out Blind Press, the coffee stream, which comes on at noon my time. 11 o'clock my time, noon Eastern. I'll remember to put a link up there today. All right, let's get into Twitter trends because we want to know what's going on in the world and what people are going to be talking about for the rest of the day. So let's get in there. Let me click a couple clicks so I can have them sitting on my screen. It was a pretty slow news day yesterday. I don't know if you noticed. There wasn't a whole lot of really crazy things going on. So I'm not sure why. I mean, a slow news day is great if you can get one. Oh, except for the fact that Jay Inslee... Jay Inslee dropped out of the presidential race. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't know what to do now that Jay Inslee has dropped out. All right, Twitter trends today. First today, it is Thursday. So, of course, we get Thursday stuff in the top 10 of the Twitter trends, which means number 1 is Thursday Thoughts. Not Thursday Thoughts, but Thursday Thoughts. So, let's see what's at the top of Thursday Thoughts today. Anything good? If you are right all the time, you will not be able to properly handle a mistake or a misstep. you will not be able to learn from your mistakes. Well, if you're right all the time, what the hell do you have to learn from your mistakes? You don't make any. Just saying. Let's see. But actually, this is actually good. You learn nothing from life if you think you are right all the time. Yeah, okay. That's actually profound. Oh, if you think you're the king of Israel and the second coming of God. No, I'm pretty sure he was making fun of that whole idea, but boy, did the press go nuts on Trump. That trended on Twitter quite a bit yesterday too, him thinking he was God. Let's see. Thursday thoughts. Okay, see? It happens. Enjoy it here. Let's see. I don't know what they're doing. Oh. Okay, so there's your Thursday thoughts to go along with your Thursday thoughts. There you go. All right, let's move on. Number 2 today, Taylor Swift on GMA. Oh no, I can't care any less than I care about anything. Oh my gosh. But she did have a packed crowd on GMA this morning. Oh, there she is, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift performs for a packed crowd at her Good Morning America concert. You know, I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I don't particularly care, but they had the fans came out. They were out early, ready to watch Taylor Swift. Lots of people out there this morning. A lot of people like Taylor Swift. She's quite the talented young lady, so good for her. All right, let's go. Let's move on. Number 3 today, signs you're getting fired. Well, I know someone's going to probably have this in the list, and before I click it, here's what I'm predicting. Signs you're getting fired. You work in the Trump administration. Because, but you know what? Every administration loses people pretty regularly. Anyway, signs you're getting fired. Let's click it and see what the first few good ones. Hey, before you clock out, come see me in the office. Signs you're getting fired. That's a good one. The next one. Out of nowhere, you start training your replacement without even knowing. Signs you're getting fired. When the camera footage clearly doesn't match your story. Oh, dude. He must have left it in reverse, and the thing's just going. That is hilarious. Signs you're getting fired. That's not it. That's the signs you're getting fired. When you go from 40 hours to 14. All right. Signs you're getting fired. When your boss asks for documentation after you take off work for the 5th time in 1 year for your grandmother's funeral. Yeah. That grandma's funeral. Oh boy, that one's. You got to keep a track of which grandparent you're taking off for. That's all. Oh, sign. Okay, okay. Enough of that. All right, enough of signs you're getting fired. Those are cute. All right. Number 4 is Thursday motivation. We're gonna skip that one. Number 5. You're officially old if I'm not wearing my old shirt. Yesterday I had my I'm not old. I'm a vintage teen shirt on yesterday. You just couldn't read it yesterday. Let's see. If you work for Game Informer. Oh, that's cold. That's cold. Oh, sis, Lindsay, you had to train your own replacement. Oh, that's brutal, man. Signs you're getting fired. Coworkers give you a farewell cake. Oh, that's a good one, Longfish. Signs you're getting fired. Caught watching Dawg Knight. Oh, tweet that. Tweet that. That is funny. Signs you're getting fired. Got caught watching P-Dog. All right, let's find. You're officially old if you used to record the charts on Radio 1 using a tape recorder and have to pause it each time before the presenter started speaking. Okay, or well, that's if you're in the UK. You're officially old if you remember all the fun conversations that used to be on AIM Messenger. Take me back to them days. Oh, man. I mean, I'm not saying I was old when AOL Messenger, but we were on AOL. I want to say, let's see, in our first house, let's see, do we have it in our first house? I know for sure that we had AOL in we did have it in our first house. So that would have been 1993, 94, something like that. And then when my daughter was born, we moved to our second house. We were on AOL. That was like 1994. Probably 4 years we were on AOL. And AOL Instant Messenger, and there was the forums and stuff. AOL was good for what it was at the time. Anyway, you're officially old if you were excited that there was finally going to be 4 channels on the telly. We had 4 channels. We had ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS. And then we also had there was the one channel like 29 or something like that. That was just a weird channel that had weird stuff on it. You're officially old if your body goes snap, crackle, and pop every morning when you get out of bed. Hey. I resemble that remark. You're officially old if someone turns on newer music and this was your reaction. Yeah, okay. You're officially old if everything hurts and I'm dying. Okay, so this is nothing to me. You're officially old if your original means of saving data was via floppy disk. So I had an Apple II that we saved things on floppy disks. What about it? I wish I still had that. I had one of the first Macintoshes too. Floppy disk, probably a whole 2, or probably a 50. What is it? We found that. God, we just got rid of that computer too. I wish I would have done that, but it had like not 50 megs. It had like 50K of RAM or something like that. It's ridiculous compared to now. My smartphone is probably more powerful than the computer I had in 2007. Has more capacity than a computer, and it fits right here, baby, right there. It fits right there in that little thing right there. So anyway, that's funny. That's hilarious. You're officially old if you wish that band you're going to see had seats at the venue. Okay. All right. So you're officially old if you grew up watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers but still like them. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, come on. You're not old. If you were watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you just weren't that old. You're just not, okay? You're not even in the ballpark. All right. If you're officially old, if songs from your teenage years are being played on the oldie stations, oh my gosh. We have a station here called Cool 108. And when I first moved to the Twin Cities 30 years ago, they were still playing 50s music, man. They were playing 50s music. They were playing like 50s and maybe early 60s. It was still, they were playing Buddy Holly and, Chubby Checker and Fats Domino and all the 50s shit, and then some like early Temptations, it's really early. They were not playing anything beyond like 60, 64. They stopped when the Beatles came around. Now I go on that station, they're playing all the shit that I was listening to in high school, or even they play 90s music on that station now. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is not Cool 108. These are not oldies. What the hell are you talking about? All right, enough of that. Old. Ray Bradbury's trending. Why is Ray Bradbury trending? You must stay drunk on writing so reality cannot destroy you. Oh, it's Ray Bradbury's birthday today. Born August 22nd, 1920. Oh, really? He's okay. He's not that much older than my mother. Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, so he would be 99 years old today. Ray Bradbury, writer and director, and really interesting. He famous for Ray Bradbury Theater. Look it up if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. All right, moving on. Android 10 is coming out. Okay. Oh my gosh. So finally they came up. Okay, yeah, because that's weird to be. Because, yeah, here's all the Android names they had originally. Android Alpha, Android Beta, Android Cupcake, Android Donut, Android Eclair, Android Floyo, Android Gingerbread, Android Honeycomb, Android Ice Cream Sandwich, Android Jelly Bean, Android Kit Kat, Android Lollipop, Marshmallow, Nougat, Oreo, Pie, and now Android 10? What? Yeah, they used to always be desserts, but now they changed it just to Android 10. Oh, because Q. They're on Q now, and so they call it Android 10. Because can you think of a dessert? Can you think of a dessert with a Q? Maybe quince pie, maybe? I've never heard of that. Anyway, so Android 10's coming out. Moving on. Racism exposed. Oh, this is going to be just a lovely one. This is actually trending higher this morning. Apparently, there's a Breitbart article that got this one going. Yesterday, New York Times pens an editorial falsely calling Donald Trump anti-Semite, which... Okay, y'all are stupid if you're going to call Donald Trump an anti-Semite, even, just regardless of what he said about the Democrats. Today, New York Times is employing an open anti-Semite in a leadership role at their paper. And remember, these are the people constantly lecturing us. So they have an article, Crappy Jew Year, New York Times editor, anti-Semitism, racism exposed. If you want to read that, it's in Breitbart. But then other people are making fun of Breitbart for making a hashtag called Racism Exposed. Anyway, this is great. And then there's former Trump organization exec explains why Trump is a snowflake. Trump does have thin skin. I'm not going to argue that at all, but I don't need to read any of that shit. Anyway, that's why racism is exposed. Racism exposed is trending. Dorothy Parker's trending. Why is Dorothy Parker trending? Happy birthday to Dorothy Parker, the OG wordsmith who made Pithy a season. Okay, so she's a very well-known writer. Happy birthday to Dorothy Parker and Ray Bradbury. Friday Eve. Why? Oh, let's see. Okay, Emily Grace. Looking for what? Looking for good sex today, and if you want sex too, call me on WhatsApp. Okay, that's at the top of Friday Eve. Of course, people pizza. Okay, it's Happy Friday's Eve. It's kind of like when you're looking forward to the weekend, and it's Friday Eve, right? Okay, I'm gonna just step away from that one. Jung Jae-hoong, I don't know, probably something with K-pop. Don Hudson, don't know who that is. Ray Sherman. Ray Sherman's a football player, I believe. Ah, yes. Steelers have officially named former OC Ray Sherman, offensive coordinator Ray Sherman, as the interim wide receivers coach in 2019. Okay, good for him. Thursday morning, black women equal. Oh, gosh. Here's the fake-ass equal pay thing again. Today, it's... Black women get 61 cents for every dollar that their white male counterparts are paid. The difference over a 40-year career would mean earning about $946,000 less, according to research. Here's how the wage gap affects this minority group. Why do they keep... Well, I know why they keep pushing this. They want to... Because if there's nothing you can be... If you can make it seem like there's something that you could have a grievance about, you can perpetually be relevant. So there's going to be some organization that can raise money and make political ads about shit that really, if black women make 61 cents on the dollar for white men. Okay, and why do they always use white men? Normally when you're comparing things, when you're comparing stuff, the difference between, something really big and something that's not as big, normally you compare it to the entity that has the most of something. So for example, in this case, why is they always measure the wage gap of women to white men when white men are not the highest average earners if you're going by race and ethnicity? Okay? Because they're not. Asian men, particularly Indian and Southeast Asian men, are the highest. And in fact, did you know that Nigerian immigrant men on average make more than white men? It's because we're some smart motherfuckers, that's why. There's several, but they always, so why measure it against white men? I mean, if you really want to show a gap and really want to see, because of course, the Constitution was written by a bunch of, Indians and Nigerians. So of course, they're the ones who are going to benefit the most from our system. Anyway, why do they always measure it against white men? No, there is no, there's no magic button that's going to close a pay gap. You know what? And they try to say, African American women are the most educated people on the planet. Really? But do they do the most work? Do they do the work? Are they taking jobs that pay the most? I know a lot of, for some reason, and I don't know why this was, and even my mom, when I was, going to college, was saying this, if you get a government job, it's very steady and you get great pension and whatever benefits and whatnot. And that's true. But, on average, black women tend to work in a lot of government jobs. Okay. But government jobs don't necessarily pay the most when you're in them. Okay. And then also, if you think about it, okay, the highest, one of the highest dropout rates is also black women. So some black women who are dropouts aren't going to be, they're not going to work as, the electrical engineer, okay. But, and also, this is just stupid. It's just one of those things. They're trying to divide. They're trying to make a case that there is a racial and sexual whatever discrimination because people are paid differently for different jobs, and it's very, very annoying. Oh, the pay gap widens with education. The better educated black women, the more unequal our pay. Really? How so? How so? I fascinating. Well, maybe, again, what kinds of jobs are these very educated black women doing once they graduate? What did they major in? Okay. If white men seem to gravitate towards things that, maybe it's because white men gravitate towards things that make money, where maybe black women who are educated gravitate towards jobs where they can make a difference, right? Make a difference, but do the jobs that make a difference pay as much? Okay, I'd be curious. Okay, when you do it, anytime you do one of these wage gap things, it should also have an analysis of what kind of jobs people do. What's the most popular top 10 jobs among black women with a bachelor degree? What are the top 10 jobs? And then look at, what kinds of jobs those pay, what do they pay, and go by that. Also, you got to remember that a lot of the trades, for example, a lot of the trades that people work in, and not necessarily just white men, but a lot of the trades, you make a ton of money, right? You can make a lot of money in the trades, but do women go into the trades as much? Not really. Okay. A Finnish carpenter is going to make a lot more money than a manager at Burger King. Right? Probably. You know, I know that, or whatever. So, God, this is so annoying. It is so annoying. The only way you're going to remove the wage gap, the only way you're going to change the wage gap between men and women, or, white men and black women, is to force women to go into jobs that they didn't really want to go into in the first place. Because right now you have a choice. And unfortunately, people choose different kinds of jobs. I, with my current jobs, do not make as much as the CEO of the company down the street. Okay. My son just worked his tail off in school, went to college and took computer science, and now he is a software engineer for a major company. My son's going to make a lot more than my daughter, I love, and she loves what she does. But my daughter, who was a theater major and works as a professional nanny. Just my son, there's a wage gap right there between my son and my daughter. Does it mean anything? Does it mean my daughter's unhappy in her life? No. Okay, she knows what she chose. She knew that she's always said, Dad, I'm going to live a modest life. Okay, good. Because, you're a theater major and you're probably going to live a modest life. Unless, you get lucky, or unless you work really hard and do what you want to do. So there you go. There you go. Necrosol, nuclear welder, only works like 8 hours a year and gets paid $50,000. Yeah, you get paid $50,000 for a 1 8-hour job. Okay, it's just holy shit, it's annoying. But they're gonna keep coming back to that well because, hey, you know what? People who make cool little graphics like this and make little charts like the one here and make the meme here, and who makes this chart, they can all raise money because they pretend they can actually do something about it. Right. The other part of the wage gap is there's a lot of people in this world who get married and raise children. And you know what? Sometimes they make choices based on their kids. And sometimes it's not. Now, someone would say, oh, this is the patriarchy speaking, but I disagree. I think there are actually people out there who care about their kids and want the best for them and make choices based on what they do, what their schedules are with work. And so I bet you there's a lot of women who maybe work part-time. I know now in my family, for example, we did both change our schedule. We both changed our schedules, kind of worked part-time here. When my wife, we ran a daycare out of her house. And so we had a wage gap in our house for a while. And now we have a wage gap now because my wife makes more than I now because she's a director of a big, assisted living facility. And she makes a lot of money there. And so there's a wage gap. Oh my gosh, white woman makes more than the black man. That's discrimination. I think I should be paid just as much as my wife because I'm a black man, right? So yeah, but there's never this so-called wage gap, especially overall, probably will never change that much because there are always going to be people who decide, you know what? We can make it under one income, or we can make it on 1.5 incomes because we want to take care of our own kids. We don't want to put our kids in daycare. That was our plan. We didn't want to put our kids in daycare, so we didn't. We've adjusted our lives so that we didn't have to. Did that change our income? Did that contribute to a wage gap between men and women at the time? Well, of course it did, because I was working full time and my wife ran a daycare and worked part time in her other job, and between the two of us, but we still got it and we still have a great life and we weren't complaining. Okay. But I gotta imagine there's a lot of people that do that though. There's always going to be a wage gap just because of that. Okay. And so the people are saying, oh, well, that's patriarchy. Why does the women have to take the time off? Maybe they don't. Maybe they choose to. Maybe. Now, I know this is sacrilege to say, but maybe women have a little bit more of a bond with a child than men do, because women internalize that child literally for 9 months of their lives. And sometimes sometimes you just want to be with that child more. It's hard for, men don't experience that. Evolutionally, guess what? Before we had all this shit we have in these countries we have now, you're just out in the bush trying to survive and not get eaten by some big animal. Made more sense for the woman to take care of the child because the woman fed the child. And the men had to protect them when they're feeding and when they had to go get some food. Okay, so was that a wage gap? Does that mean because the men killed more antelope with their spears for food? Well, that was kind of a wage gap too, wasn't it? Right? So it's never this mythical wage gap, which is really just an earnings gap based on what kind of jobs people do and what kind of jobs people choose. Now, let's put it this way. All right, so let's say I have one person who's a software engineer, happens to be a white male, and there's this other person that has to be a software engineer that is a black female, and in fact, they're even on the same team. They produce the same amount of work. They work the same number of hours. They're part of the team that finished this project, then this project, then this project. Guarantee you those two people make the same amount of money. 99.9% or times out of 100. If they're in the same job, working the same time, working the same project, doing the same production, working the same hours, they're going to make the same kind of money. People I work with UPS, if you've been there 13 years working in the part-time area and you're a man working in this area and a woman working in this area, you're making the exact same amount of money because that's the way that it works. It works by how long you work there and continuous work. You get raises at the exact same time, exact same kind. Okay? This means nothing. Show me a black woman who is working as a teacher in an elementary school that started in 1997, and a white man who's been working at the same school since 1997, teaching. One teaches both are math teachers. There's two math teachers. They hired the same year. They're working since 1997. They're both at the same school. Very likely they're making the same amount of money, although maybe not, because probably the schools are trying to recruit minority teachers, and because there's not as many minority teachers can ask for more money because they're a hot commodity right now because everyone wants to add more minority teachers to their staff. So I'll bet you the black woman at that school who worked hired in 1997, the same time that white man was hired in 1997, and they still up in that same track, I'll bet you the black woman, I bet she makes more. I'll bet you. Okay? Fuck the wage gap. Can I get I don't even know how this fits, but can I get an FTG for the wage gap? I don't even know what that means. Yeah, FTG. Fuck the gap. Fuck the gap. Right? All right, moving on. That was my rant for the day. Finishing up. Oh my gosh, did that move up already? Oh, it looks like it's gone. Oh no, it dropped. It's dropped on the trending. Thursday morning, Friday Eve, Patrick Chung, Dame Dash, why is Jason Lewis trending? That's my former congressman in my district. Oh, new. Jason Lewis, provocative ex-radio host and staunch Trump ally, to launch Minnesota Senate bid today. Trump and his Minnesota mini-me set out to flip state red. I don't know if that's a way. That's fascinating, because Politico is supposed to be, for the most part, they do a pretty good job of being nonpartisan. Although but just like every other place, they slant to left because everyone around them is left, and so they don't really know they're slanting left. But usually they're pretty good about keeping their headlines and whatnot nonpartisan. But this is really, it's funny how they write this headline. Now, so whoever writes this headline at Politico obviously doesn't like Trump, which you're allowed not to like Trump, but don't pretend that you're being nonpartisan when you do write a headline like this. Trump and his Minnesota mini-me set out to flip the state red. President Donald Trump, Minnesota. For President Donald Trump, Minnesota is the one that got away in 2016. Now he's fixated on flipping the state in 2020 with the help of provocative ex-radio host whose rantings earned him the name Mini Trump. Okay, so maybe that, I've never heard that. And it's funny because I live here in Minnesota. Jason Lewis used to be the congressman in my district. Never ever heard anyone call him Mini Trump, ever. Okay, he's not Mini Trump. And anyway, I don't know. The former GOP rep, Jason Lewis, is expected to launch his Minnesota Senate bid on Thursday with guidance from two of Trump's top political lieutenants. After losing Minnesota by just 1.5 percentage points, the president has told aides repeatedly in recent weeks that he's determined to win the Democratic stronghold, which hasn't gone for a Republican presidential candidate since 1972. Yes, that was the year that they actually got President Nixon won Minnesota. And it was weird because was it George McGovern was the Hubert Humphrey was the vice presidential candidate, the vice presidential nominee, and Hubert Humphrey is from Minnesota. He's an icon here, but Nixon won Minnesota in 1972. Anyway, Trump's push reflects his broader re-election blueprint, which focused on a cluster of Midwestern and Rust Belt states that were decided by razor-thin margins in 2016 and likely to determine the outcome of this election. So anyway, Jason Lewis, he was a radio show host, and so a lot of things with Jason Lewis is, I think he lost to Amy Klobuchar, if I remember right. But his problem is he did this local radio show, the Jason Lewis Show, and he did it here, and then he moved it down to North Carolina and had some national syndication. He has sound bites that are so easily taken out of context. Like, for example, he would be making up a facetious statement by a Democrat that sounds really bad if you put it on its own out of context. So he's easy to quote mine. Let's put it that way. But he's an all right dude. He's a solid conservative. He's not really a mini Trump, though. He's just brash and, well, okay, never mind. That would make him a mini Trump. Anyway. All right. Hey, guys. It's been a lovely day, but of course, we've come to that time of the day when I've got to say so long. Hey, thank you for coming to the Morning Night Live this morning. I am honored that you come and see me each day. And when do you come here? You come here at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. Now, that's for people who don't necessarily spend a lot of time in using American time zones. And so they use GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, with that little plus or minus number to figure out what time we're on. And that's how you find out. It's at 2 p.m. GMT. So anyway, thanks, everybody. It's been fun. We're going to be back tomorrow, just like we are every day. And hopefully I'll find some newsworthy items. Because like I said, yesterday was a slow news day. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you haven't done so already, or if you're watching this after the fact, not live, please make sure you hit the share button down here, hit the like button, and again, we always do super chats and donations through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. Before you go to, I got to remind you, let me see if Blind Press's notice is up here. Here, I'll put a link to the coffee stream also in the chat. Check out Blind Press at noon Eastern, 11 Central. And also there's a great video down below. Olivia Rondeau did a video on the cleanup in Baltimore. I just liked her video I watched this morning, and I highly recommend it. So that is it for today, people. I gotta go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.